I'm delighted that we're finally talking about victims, because I think that's, like Delegate Mier said, has been left out of this conversation. And where a victim says that he or she doesn't want the case to be a death penalty case, then that is certainly something that should be taken into enormous account by the prosecutor in deciding how to proceed. But that's not what this bill does. This doesn't say that where one victim says, I think this is not what we want. Now, of course, remember, the primary victim, the one who is actually the direct, immediate victim of what happened, can't speak because they're dead. But there's family members, and they are victims too, and so they would have a great input into this. But this bill doesn't do this. This doesn't say that in some cases perhaps the death penalty shouldn't be brought because the family would feel a better sense of closure if we didn't have it. No, this says they can't have it at all. It doesn't matter that one victim wants it and one victim doesn't. This would say that no victim can have it, regardless of what they want. Now, you know, the primary patron, Delegate from Newport News, mentioned innocence, and absolutely should take those steps to make it as sure as possible. But again, that's not what this bill does. Delegate Miers mentioned Mr. Gleason. Robert Gleason killed 2 people in prison. In prison, one time reaching through the jail cell windowed bars to throttle the man in the cell next to him out in the prison yard. There's not an inch of doubt that he did it. We're not beyond reasonable doubt, we're beyond any doubt. It's not that he did it in front of people in a prison and admitted to it. He said, I will keep killing until you give me the death penalty. That's the person that this bill ultimately will protect. Mr. Delegate Miers talked about Mr. Powell. Now, Mr. Powell's case is just infamous. He's the one who raped and murdered the 16-year-old, raped and tried to murder her sister, and failed. The reason it's infamous is because the first time Prince William County tried to give him the death penalty, it was unsuccessful. He thought he was safe. So then he started writing letters bragging about what he did, telling details that weren't known or weren't provable by the police, used the language, and Delegate Miers was gentle with the language he used. There's a whole lot more worse than what he put in there. But then, just to underline how much damage someone can do while in prison, he wrote taunting letters to the dead girl's mother. He clipped out some kind of picture of a partially nude woman. I'm just reading from the Supreme Court ruling. And he says, Lorraine, that's the mom's name, I was wondering if you might be able to help me think of something. I found this picture in a magazine, and it kind of looks like someone I know, or used to know, but I can't think of the person's name. Now, mind you, the picture looked like the dead daughter. I think you know the person too, so I was wondering if you could tell me the name of the person this picture resembles, so I can quit racking my brain trying to think of it. I would appreciate it. If you don't know the person I'm thinking about, ask Christy. Now, Christy was the sister he raped and survived. Ask Christy or Kelly Welch, because I know they know who I'm thinking of. If you talk to the person I'm talking about, please give her my address and tell her to write me. So that's what he was sending from prison to cause pain to the mother of a girl he had killed and the mother of another girl he had raped and attempted to kill. This is not an issue of innocence. This is his own words saying what he did, leaving aside all the scientific evidence. So this is not a question about innocence. This would get at all of the cases. It doesn't matter if we know for sure they did it. It doesn't matter if they did it in front of prison. It doesn't matter if they're in prison and have continued to reoffend from prison. It would make sure that someone like Gleason, who killed twice while serving his prison sentence, gets to live out the rest of his days. Now, the last part of this is this notion that somehow we will have life without parole. Okay, that is in fact, I'm sure, you know, it's part of the bill, right? Except only yesterday, the state Senate had a bill that would have allowed parole for this. There's nothing anyone on this body can do to lock this in or to say, we mean it, it's never going to happen. It is impossible. Even if you say it, even if you truly mean it, it's impossible. You just can't make it happen. And they can get out. They can live out their lives, get parole, and get out. So ladies and gentlemen, you can, of course, decide to abolish the death penalty. That's what this bill does. But there's other ways to fix what the gentleman is describing, and you're choosing not to do it. What this does is abolish the death penalty straight up. Hope you vote no. Thank you, ma'am.